Greetings friends and strangers alike, welcome one and all. My last challenge, Fallout 4 using only a pool cue, was really fun, but there were a lot of moments that felt like running my head into a wall. This time we're going back to Pokemon, wondering if I can beat Pokemon HeartGold using only a Mareep. So Mareep is one of my favourite, if not my favourite Pokemon. I have a lot of nostalgia for Gen 2, and I think catching it early on really helped cement the love. It's still the best sheep Pokemon, by the way. They tried to replace it in Gen 8, but the nostalgia is too strong. Anyway, looking at its stats, its best is special attack, which means we will do some decent damage, but the slow speed might be a problem. Fortunately, its move pool is much better than in Gen 2, so that's a plus. You see what I did there? Onto the rules of the challenge. I can only use Mareep in battle, and although I will need to catch other Pokemon to use HMs, they won't be allowed to fight. No items in battle except for Pokeballs, but using held items is allowed. My prediction is I think I could definitely beat the Elite Four, but I'm really not sure about Red. What level do you think I'll need to beat the game? Comment down below. Alright, let's see what we can do. So before the run, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Totodile so that we had to face Chikorita. Might be a problem considering it resists our main attack. You know, this is the second time I've replaced Totodile for a run. I'm sorry Totodile, you're still one of my favourites. I named my Mareep Jumper. That's two jokes in one. Comment down below if you figure them both out. I did reset a couple times to get a nature that wasn't detrimental, and I got Modest, which is pretty awesome. So normally this wouldn't be worth mentioning, but I actually almost lost the first rival fight. We have low attack due to our nature, and thanks to his Chikorita using Growler Punch, we start doing what I assume is 1 damage. We only just take it out while being 1 hit from going down. Absolutely crazy. There isn't much else worth noting after this, so let's take on the first gym. Yeah, I stomp him. It was expected. I have a super effective move, I resist their flying moves, and I got a few levels from the mandatory Sprout Tower. Easy win, but well, let's see how long that lasts. Well, it doesn't last long, as this random hiker in Union Cave kicks my ass. He has 3 Geodude, so I can only use my weak tackle, and he spams defense skill to make it worse. I end up running out of tackle PP, so I can't damage him at all. No wonder they went back to rock types for the first gym after this. It's clearly the superior type. Oh hey look, the Sancho I caught for HM use is holding a Quick Claw. That could come in handy. Slowpoke well was pretty uneventful, so let's try the second gym. Scyther is out first, and after dropping my defense, almost one-shots me with U-turn. Metapod goes down without too much fuss, and Scyther is back out. Even though I paralysed it with my static, I just can't finish it off before it takes me out. I try a bunch more times, but they don't go much better. I either need to get some more levels or some crazy luck. Well, crazy luck is exactly what I get. Scyther leers me before I hit a Thundershock, and then my Quick Claw kicks in as I get off another Thundershock, forcing him to eat his berry. He hits me with U-turn to leave me on just 2 HP. Metapod is out next and he gets paralysed from my Thundershock, then he's unable to move and I take him out. Scyther is back out and Quick Claw kicks in again, allowing us to take him out. Kakuna is last and my level up got me to 4 HP. He hits me with the Poison Sting and I survive on 1 HP, and thankfully I don't get poisoned. Man, Lady Luck was by my side big time in that fight. So much had to go right for me to win at this level. So next I try for the rival fight in town and it goes awful. Ghastly is up first, but he just goes for mean luck. I don't know if he realises that I'm not trapped in here with him. He's trapped in here with me. Anyway, he goes down to 1 Thundershock. Zubat is next, but again, 1 Thundershock, no problem. Here comes the absolute brick wall though, it's Bayleaf. I barely deal any damage, with Thundershock dealing more than tackle despite it being resisted. Plus he can poison me to whittle me down and heal himself to outlast me. It's clear to me that even with crazy paralysis luck, this is just not happening yet. I come back at level 23, but it's still a losing battle. I need to be able to outdamage his synthesis healing. A few more tries at level 25 don't yield much better results until I get this attempt. Ghastly and Zubat are both one-shots, so they aren't worth talking about. Bayleaf is out and I'm doing around a 6th with my Thundershocks. I get really lucky though with him missing his first few poison powders. I also get him paralysed. I'd been previously opening with Thunderwave to try and get some power hacks, but it seemed better to just go on the offensive right away. I get a crit, and he wastes a turn setting up Reflect. He finally gets a poison powder off, so now we're on a timer. He does get fully paralysed again, and then I look out with him setting up Reflect instead of using Synthesis, and I can finally finish him off. My god, that was excruciating. I really hope I can do more damage per hit the next time we face him. So now we're into Ilex Forest, and I can't remember if I talked about this in my Marl only in Pokemon Gold run, but for some reason this area always comes to mind when I think of the original Pokemon Gold. Getting into battles during the night time with my Totodile. Nostalgia is great, isn't it? I quite like this little minigame where you have to sneak up behind these two Farfetch'd. We could do with more small set pieces like that to advance the story, rather than just gyms and evil teams and whatnot. I decided to teach Headbutt to Jumper. Might not be that useful since our attack is really low, but it's doubled the power of Tackle, and it could come in handy where Thundershock isn't working out. I love my friend's grandma teasing me here. Such a classic grandparent move to embarrass their grandchild about having a boy or girlfriend. It's a cute moment. And now, the big event you've all been waiting for. Let's get your hearts pounding with excitement for the explosive big brain game that is Voltorb Flip. No, but seriously, I love Voltorb Flip. When I first played this game back in 2010, I, like a lot of people, didn't like it. I wanted the old game corner back where I could just buy my coins and be on my way. But then I wrinkled up my smooth brain and now I love it. It's a fun little brain teaser game that gives you a nice sense of accomplishment when you win and devastates you when you lose, just like Wordle. Anyway, we better get back to the run. I could sit here and play this for hours. I don't expect it to go well, but let's try for the normal gym. Yeah, it's bad. Clefairy takes 3 shots to kill with Thundershock, which says to me I'm not doing enough damage. I make 10 or so attempts, and though I get Miltank to yellow health a few times, I think I just need a bit more power. I get Discharge at level 28, let's get that and come back. Oh yeah, that did the trick. Clefairy is now almost a one-shot, and although Miltank gets some good flinch hacks in, I can 2-shot her with Discharge. I think the stat increase in those 2 levels might have been enough to win the fight anyway, but the move upgrade tipped it over the edge into being pretty easy. Hey, speaking of easy, the Burn Tower rival fight is a walk in the park. His Ghastly outspeeds me again, but thankfully doesn't use Curse and he just goes to Confuse Ray and Mean Look. And I one-shot him with Discharge. Next is Bayleaf, and while I do get a bit lucky with him getting paralysed and him wasting your turn using Reflect, I do decent enough damage that I'm not sure it would have mattered. Zubat is a one-shot, and Magnemite just hangs on but goes down without a fuss. I remember this fight being an absolute brick wall in my Marl run, so it's nice to breeze past it here. Ghost Gym time, and I failed the first attempt because his Ghastly uses Curse right off the bat. I can 2-shot his Gengar though, so that's good. Second attempt and Ghastly just shoots his Spite, which does nothing since I haven't used the move yet. Exclamation point, Discharge, and he's down. I guess I was holding shift as I typed the one there. Gengar is out and he goes for a Sucker Punch, which does almost nothing to me. 2 shots and he's done. Haunter is out next and he goes for Curse, which at this point isn't going to help him. If he used Hypnosis and Dream Eater instead, then it could have been over. His last Haunter is out and uses Nightshade, but thankfully it's a one-shot with Discharge. Well, that was a weird fight. Even though I was hitting really hard with Discharge, I could have still lost. Curse really does mess you up in a single Pokemon run. Before I leave town, I help out this kimono girl being harassed by a rocket grunt, and I love the people just watching instead of helping. This guy pretends to have a stomachache, this boomer bitches about the youths, and this old man demands that someone else do something. Classic. Time to go take on the fighting gym. Primeape is up first and he gets off a double team to try and start with his Focus Punch shenanigans, but we paralyse him with Discharge, then outspeed him to finish him off. Poliwrath is next and he does about a third to me with Body Slam and paralyses me. But we get lucky as our static paralyses him right back. Our Discharge does over half to him and he surfs me down to just 10 HP. Our second Discharge brings him down and that looked like a damage range after the Citrus Berry, so we could have lost. Hey, I'll take it though. Looks like we chucked you out of your gym. Oh crap, I forgot to talk to Jasmine first at the top of the tower before coming here. And this guy won't give me the secret medicine yet. Damn it, I gotta go all the way back to Olivine, then back here, then back to Olivine again. Guess I'll go get myself a flying Pokemon. So it takes far too long trying to find a Farfetch to catch, then find a second one because I accidentally killed the first. Then we climb the lighthouse to talk to Jasmine, then fly back to Siamwood to get the medicine, then fly back to Jasmine. I'm annoyed with myself that I forgot to do this first. But hey, at least we get to save my favourite Pokemon. I'm really worried about upcoming the Steel Gym. God, I've got to learn to proofread properly. I think this could be our first real brick wall. I'm only level 35 right now, but let's gauge how well we stack up. So we don't even get past the first Magnemite. I hadn't pegged these guys as much of a problem given how well we took out our rival's Magnemite earlier, but our discharge does less than half and its Thunderbolt hurts. Yeah, I didn't expect to do well at this level. Let's go clean up some trainers and come back. So I battle all of the trainers around Siamwood and the Whale Islands and come back at level 40. I just barely squeaked past both of their Magnemite due to being paralysed and confused. I don't even get to see how much damage I do to Steelix before she takes me out. Another attempt and I get to Steelix on full health through some good fortune, but wow, I am not doing much. I only have Signal Beam to deal damage right now as Headbutt is physical and Steelix has crazy high defense, and she's obviously immune to the electric attacks. I either need to find a different move, get insane luck, or grind really high to outmuscle her. Looking at my learn set, the only move we can get that isn't resisted or immune is potentially Hidden Power, depending on what type we get. So let's go have a look. So let's see what type we get. It's not very effective against water, which means it could be water, fire, or ice. That's huge, since fire would be super effective against steel, the water would be super effective against ground, and even ice would be neutral. And neutral damage is better than what we have now. I test it out in Gyarados and it's neutral, which means it's ice. Fire or water would have been excellent, but I'll take what I can get. So after a few attempts where I scrape through to Steelix on low health and just get taken out, I get this run. The first Magnemite likes to lead with Thunder Wave, but I crit it and discharge it for a one-shot. The second Magnemite gets off its Thunder Wave but misses its Supersonic and I take it out. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see how much damage this Hidden Power Ice does. oh my god. It does around the same as my Signal Beam, and Signal Beam's resisted. Man, what a waste of time that was. I know Hidden Power can have differing power levels as well as type, and we must have gotten a low roll since our special attack is really good, and Steelix's special defense is really bad. Oh man. Well, if I'm going to need to be a higher level anyway, I guess I'll go do the Ice Gym. So we have to take out the Rocket Hideout first, and it's not too interesting. I do love this part where Ariana tries to fight me 2-on-1, then Lance comes over to help, then Ariana insults me for having an accomplice. What? You literally have an accomplice with you. I can't... You know, one thing that I think was better about the older games, the sprites have a lot more personality. The Gen 4 Electrode looks quite surprised to see me, whereas Gen 2 Electrode was trying to come onto me. Ice Gym time. Seal is first and is just a one-shot with discharge. He sends in his Ace Piloswine next and Power Gem's my best move here. It does around a third. He sets up Hail and now his evasion is up, which is annoying. Thanks to the chip damage from Hail, he two-shots me with Blizzard. Second try and he just uses Mud Bomb instead to two-shot me. Third try and I go for a Signal Beam instead to try and confuse him. He sets up a Hail, but I crit him with the second Signal Beam to take him out. Dugong is last, but it just goes down to one discharge. Well, that was a cool bit of luck. Get it? Cool. Like me. The guy playing Pokemon games and making stupid jokes on the internet. So now we have to go back to Jasmine and her Demon of a Steelix. I now get a guaranteed 2-hit KO on her Magnemite, but they always slow me down hard with Thunder Wave and Supersonic. Even on the runs where I get to Steelix on high health, I just don't do enough damage to her. I need to be stronger. Level 48 and I'm still not doing even close to enough damage to Steelix. And always getting paralysed doesn't help matters. I decide to go and pick up the TM for Thunderbolt from the game corner because for some reason Mareep can't learn it on its own. I figured I'm going to need it at some point later anyway, and the extra boost of power could help me one-shot the Magnemite. Plus, I get to play more Voltorb Flip, so that's a win-win. A few more tries and my Thunderbolts are in a damage range to one-shot the Magnemite, but I need a little bit more power just to be certain. I'm level 50 and now I can one-shot them consistently, so I can get to Steelix with full health, but more importantly, not paralysed. So I lead off using Signal Beam, hoping to get the confusion off, and she sets up Sandstorm. My second Signal Beam takes her below health to trigger a Citrus Berry, and she crits me with Iron Tail for just under half my health. By the way, her Iron Tail likes to crit a lot for some reason. It doesn't have a higher crit chance or anything, it's just really strange. She misses her next Iron Tail, and I try to use Power Gem to knock her health just above red to prevent the Hyper Potion. But it leaves her with just enough health that a Signal Beam leaves her with a sliver, and she misses Iron Tail again. She heals, I'm back to whittling her down with Signal Beam. She misses a third Iron Tail in a row, and my Hidden Power leaves her in low yellow. She misses a fourth Iron Tail in a row, and I finish her off with Signal Beam. I got through on pure mishacks there, but good god, this has been such a brick wall that I don't care. Or I guess a steel wall would be more appropriate. It's a good job her Steelix doesn't have a ground mood, by the way, or this fight would have been impossible. So now we have to go kick Team Rocket's ass, and I absolutely love this part where you dress up as a rocket grunt to infiltrate the radio tower. It's a small change to the original that I really like. Well, that is until your rival comes up and immediately blows your cover. What the hell, man? We clear out the tower and head to the basement, and it's rival time. His Golbat is a one-shot with Thunderbolt, and his Meganium goes down in 2 hits of Signal Beam, while he just wastes his time going for Reflect. Haunter is next, and it does get off a curse, but goes down to 1 Thunderbolt. His new Sneasel is up and hits me with Feint Attack, but just goes down easy. And lastly is Magnemite, but we already know we can one-shot them, so down it goes. I thought it would have been really easy because of my huge level lead, but Curse still made it a close call. It's such a devastating move. Not much to talk about with Team Rocket really, we beat them without too much of a fuss. So it's time for the final gym. I took off my Quick Claw for the Nevermelt Ice to power up my Hidden Power, so I might not be outspeeding much. Gyarados is out first and takes off just under a third of my health with Dragon Rage. It obviously goes down with 1 Thunderbolt, and next is her first Dragonair. My Hidden Power does around half, which is nice, but she uses Thunder Wave. Another Hidden Power takes her down, and out comes Kingdra to just finish me off. After half a dozen attempts, this was actually the furthest I got. Every other time I fell to her Dragonair, as it always goes for Thunder Wave. This is like Jasmine's Magnemite all over again. I try some more at level 58, but I'm really not doing any better. The Thunder Wave is just so devastating, and I can't hope for mishacks as it was 100% accurate back in this gen. To be able to one-shot the Dragonair, I think we need to be at least mid-60s. I really don't want to grind that far, so let's see if we can find a workaround. So I'm going to try and get a hold of a Cherry Berry so that we can self-heal paralysis. To do this, I head to the Ruins of Alph to break these rocks open, because they have a chance of dropping a red shard. It takes a little while, but we get one, and we trade it to this guy in Violet City for 3 berries, one of which is a Cherry Berry. I make sure to plant it in my berry pots to harvest more in case we need them in the future. Plan ahead, kids. I still need to grind a little bit though, as taking off my Nevermelt Ice means my Hidden Power can't 2-shot the Dragonair. So we get to level 60 and Hidden Power still can't 2-shot, but Signal Beam can. So we can now get past the first Dragonair every time with no issue, but what I didn't realise is that behind that brick wall is another brick wall, which is twice as tall and twice as thick in the form of her Kingdra. It's faster than me and deals a huge chunk of damage with Hydro Pump. And let me tell you, for a move with a 20% miss chance, that move is not missing 20% of the time. But after a dozen or so more attempts where I was almost resigned to grinding more, I get this run. Gyarados still outspeeds and deals 40 damage with Dragon Rage, which is annoying. Only 3 things in life are certain: death, taxes, and Claire's Gyarados opening with Dragon Rage. Dragonair is next, and our Cherry Berry means we can get past it without taking damage or being paralysed. Kingdra is next, and we trade big blows with Hydro Pump and Thunderbolt. She then misses her next Hydro Pump and I take her out. I'm still not optimistic as I know I'm in the range of being taken out by a second Dragonair. It comes out, I survive Dragon Pulse with only 3 HP to win the fight. I can't believe it. Watching my health go down like that, I was this close to stopping the recording and just reloading a save state. So now we've finished all the Johto gyms, but before we can head to the Elite Four, we have to deal with Ho-Oh. I really like this tiny area right before the tower. The autumn colours are beautiful. And this cutscene of Ho-Oh flying around the tower is great. Time for the final rival fight before the Elite Four. It's an absolute stomp. I know I'm almost 30 levels above his Pokemon, but this fight is kind of disappointing. I don't know why he doesn't have a fully evolved team by this point. I guess his Sneasel and Magneton not being evolved makes sense, as they didn't have evolutions back in Gen 2 and they were sticking the original. But what about the other three? Easy fight, but the real challenge is coming. So I don't think I'm ready for the Elite Four yet, but I might as well give it a try to see how I match up. Here's my stats at level 65. Special attack and HP are nice, everything else is pretty underwhelming. What level do you think I'll need to beat the league? Put your guesses in the comment section. Will is up first and he leads off with Xatu. We outspeed and one-shot with Thunderbolt. Jinx is next and I lost a couple of attempts due to her putting me to sleep with Lovely Kiss. This time though she misses and I almost take her out with Signal Beam. She heals as I go for it again and my Quick Claw kicks in so I outspeed and finish her off. Exeggutor is next, but being 4 times weak to Bug means it goes down to a Signal Beam. Slowbro is up and I bring it down in 1 thanks to a crit Thunderbolt. I'm not sure if that was necessary, but hey, I'll take it. Last is his Ace Xatu, and while this one outspeeds me, it still goes down to 1 Thunderbolt. Nice easy start, but I'm sure it'll get much harder. Koga is next, and he leads with Ariados, which goes down to 1 Power Gem. Forretress is next, and he also goes down in 1 Thunderbolt. I'm a little surprised by that. I know Forretress is physically defensive, but still. Muck is next and Thunderbolt does big damage while he goes for Screech. Another Thunderbolt takes him out though. Crobat is next and he does decent damage due to the defense drop, but obviously goes down in 1 Thunderbolt. Venomoth is last, but his Psychic doesn't do much and my Power Gem leaves him on a Slither. Another one and down he goes. I love this reaction from Koga. That sounds about right. Anyway, I knock him down to a Slither again and he heals. Finally my Power Gem rolls higher on the damage and I get the win. Another fairly easy one. I remember Koga giving me a lot of trouble in the Marrow run. Bruno is next and it's appropriate that this mountain of a man slows our momentum. His Hitmontop goes down to Thunderbolt after he just uses Counter. Onyx is next and I actually don't get the knockout with Hidden Power Ice. He then crits me with Earthquake to leave me low. Wow, a crit super effective stab Earthquake still couldn't kill me in 1. Onyx is so weak. But despite that, I'm just left too low to go on as Machamp comes out and finishes me off. It takes a few attempts, but I get this run. Hitmontop goes the exact same way. I guess maybe he always goes for counter or something. Glad I'm a special attacker. Onyx is next and my Signal Beam one-shots him. Isn't it a little silly that a super effective Hidden Power Ice can't one-shot but a neutral Signal Beam can? I really got a low damage Hidden Power, didn't I? Machamp is next and hits for a lot of damage with Revenge after Thunderbolt brought him low. Another Thunderbolt finishes the job though. Hitmonlea's next and he outspeeds me but misses his high jump kick. That allows me to finish him off. Hitmonchan is last and Thunderbolt brings him into red and he goes for a pretty weak Fire Punch. The only reason I won this fight was due to Hitmonlee missing his high jump kick. He outspeeds me and does a lot of damage if he hits, and I can't one-shot him with Thunderbolt. Massive stroke of luck to get me through there. Karen is up next, we'll see if I can luck my way through this one. Umbreon is first and my Signal Beam does just over half. She goes for a double team instead of her Confuse Ray shenanigans and we take her out. She goes right for her Ace Houndoom next and outspeeds me to set up a nasty plot, while we do around 3/4 of her health with Power Gem. She then hits me for 151 points of damage with Flamethrower and gets a burn on top of that. I take her out, but the burn finishes me off. Ouch. So after around a dozen attempts, I get this run. Umbreon goes down to 2 Signal Beams after using Double Team, just like before. Houndoom is next and goes for Nasty Plot again. But the next turn, Quick Claw kicks in and I bring her down without having to take the huge Flamethrower. Gengar is next and I go for Power Gem instead of Thunderbolt so that I don't leave it on red health, because she has Destiny Bond and she tends to go for Destiny Bond if she's that low on health. She hits me with Focus Blast, then goes for Spite for some reason as I take her down with Thunderbolt. Vileplume is out next and my Signal Beam does just under half, while her Petal Dance does around a third to me. We trade hits again as she's left in red health. She uses a full restore, but I manage to bring her down. And last up is Murkrow, who I'm pretty sure I can one-shot with Thunderbolt, but she outspeeds me to finish me off. That was so close. I go through so many more attempts, but I never get to Murkrow again. It's clear my luck has just run out and I need to be stronger. So while I do need to grind, it's actually not bad since I can get past Will and Koga pretty reliably, and it's a lot better XP than the wild Pokemon outside. I get to level 70, well 71 after getting past the first 3, and face Karen again. It's still not happening though. If her Houndoom hits me after a nasty plot, I'm just left too weak for the rest of the fight. What am I, a spineless manager? Why is this Karen beating me? After 10 more attempts, this is what I get. Umbreon goes down to 2 Signal Beams, failing to do the double team thing once again. She sends in Gengar next. That's weird that she switched it up after my grind. She just uses Spite though, and Thunderbolt now one-shots. Houndoom is next and she does go for the nasty plot, but I crit a Power Gem to take her out. Murkrow is up and gets off a bit of damage with Sucker Punch, but it goes down to 1 Thunderbolt. Last is Vileplume. I crit a Hidden Power to take her down to the red and she stun spores me. She heals up and a Signal Beam brings her down to half. I then outspeed thanks to Quick Claw and take her out. Oh my god, I'm finally glad to get past Karen. I just hope Lance isn't as bad. Whew, boy was I ever right to hope for that. What you're watching here is the furthest I got in around 20 attempts. During one attempt I used Thunderbolt against Dragonite and it does around the same damage as the Hidden Power Ice. Man, I really thought I lucked out when I got Ice as my typing, but it's been really useless because of its low power. Anyway, I decided to try something a little different. I give Mareep the Choice Specs item to hold. If you don't know what this item is, it's an item that gives special attack a 50% boost in power, but only allows you to use the first move you pick in battle. So I'm going to try and muscle my way through using just Thunderbolt. This strategy seems to get me a little bit further into the battle, but it's still like going at a concrete wall with a toothpick. After almost 2 hours of attempts, I managed to get this run. Gyarados is easily a one-shot, no problem there. His Ace Dragonite comes out next and we do big damage. Thankfully he just uses Safeguard instead of hitting me and he goes down. He seems to use Safeguard more often than attacking me during my attempts. It's really weird. His second Dragonite comes in next and paralyzes me. I get fully paralysed and he hits me for over half my health with Dragon Rush. I manage to take him out and his third Dragonite comes in. He misses Dragon Rush and I take him down to a sliver. We play whack-a-mole a little bit as I knock him down and he heals up until he's out of full restores. He then misses Dragon Rush again and we take him out. Charizard is out and hits me with Shadow Claw instead of a Stab Fire Fang. I don't know why. We take him down and we're on to his last Pokemon, Aerodactyl. He decides to go for Crunch, which takes me down to just 3 HP, and I take him out. I cannot believe the amount of luck I needed to get for that to work, but we finally managed to get it. I really didn't want to go back and grind up levels more, as there's no guarantee I could even get past Karen again. But we did it. We're in the Hall of Fame, but we have more hurdles yet to attempt. I really don't think I can beat Red even at level 100, but hey, we have to give it a go. So I'm not going to show the battles in Kanto, but I will say I did not have an easy time in those gyms. Some of them I had to try a couple of times to get the win, including Surge here, who I left till last. Well, second to last, because we have to go up against Blue. Oh yeah, this isn't happening. I can't even get past his Rhydon, as his Earthquake is enough to take me out from full health. I go around cleaning up some trainers to get to level 90 and try again. Still nothing. His Rhydon is a huge problem considering that I can't one-shot it before it deals massive damage to me, and even when I do get past it, Machamp is waiting to wipe me off the map. I come back again at level 93 and holding a magnet to power up my Thunderbolt. Executor is first, but he has always been a one-shot with Signal Beam, so it's no problem. Rhydon is next and uses Earthquake to leave me on less than a quarter health. I take him down and out comes Machamp. I go for Thunderbolt and thanks to the magnet it just has enough power to take him out in one. Arcanine is next and his extreme speed takes me to just 3 HP. I almost take him out and he heals. My next Thunderbolt manages to take him down in one though. Gyarados is next, but he's a one-shot no problem. Pidgeot is last, and I thought for sure it would outspeed me and finish me off, but we managed to outspeed it and take it out with Thunderbolt. That was a really tough fight, but we have one last challenge that will be even tougher. So I might as well just top off my level to 100 now. I really don't think I stand a chance against Red unless we do. And even then, I think it's a slim chance. Here's our stats. Special attack is far and away the best, but it's not even 200. I am not confident here, guys. Comment down below one last time whether you think I have a chance. Let's see how we do. Alright, so I don't even get past Pikachu. It's holding a light ball, so it deals massive damage to me, and I can't one-shot it. Let's try learning Thunder for that extra power, see where that gets us. Well, I still don't one-shot Pikachu if I'm holding the Quick Claw, and if I hold the Magnet for more power, it means I just take a hit anyway. I can bring it down with a combination of the recoil from its Volt Tackle and the passive hail damage that goes on in this fight. But here comes Snorlax, and I seriously burst out laughing when I saw how much damage I did with Thunder. Alright, well, this fight isn't doable. Better to just call it quits and move on to my next challenge, I think. Gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting this run to be as tough as it was. I thought I'd just have a relatively easy time with one of my favourite Pokemon to get back into the Pokemon challenge grind. Speaking of, for my next challenge, I'm going to do Pokemon Red using a random Pokemon after every gym. That should be an interesting one. If you want to check me out elsewhere, I sometimes stream over on Twitch. Come hang out if you want to watch something more casual. You can also follow me on Twitter to know when streams and videos go live. And lastly, feel free to join my Discord to get involved off air. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.